Okay, this chapter begins with David showing kindness and ends with battle. David's goodwill toward the Ammonites is rejected, leading to a war that again demonstrates God's favor and Israel's strength under David's rule. The first part of the chapter covers David's kindness to Hanun. After Nahash, king of Ammonites, dies, David says. So after the king of Ammonites dies, David says, I will show you kindness to Amnon, son of Nahash, because his father showed kindness to me. He sends messengers to express sympathy for the loss. David's intent is peace and an act of diplomacy and compassion. So the second part of this chapter covers the Ammonites insult David's voice. The Ammonite princes misinterpret David's gesture and tell Hanun, do you think David's honor your father? His men have come to spy out the land. Hanun humiliates David and voice by shaving half their beards and cutting off their garments at the waist, then sending them away. Okay, so when David hears of this, he tells them to stay in Jericho until their beards grow back, because this insult was not just personal, it was a public act of national humiliation in that culture. Beards symbolized honor and dignity, okay? So an honorable person. The third part of the chapter covers the Ammonites prepare for war. Realizing they have deeply offended David, the Ammonites hire Aramean, which is Assyrian mercenaries, okay? 32,000 chariots and soldiers from Aram Naharaim, Aram Maacah, and Zobah, okay? They gather at Medeba to fight. David sends Joab and the entire army. The Ammonites position themselves at the city gate while while the higher Arameans stand in the open field. Israel is surrounded. Okay, what began as a misunderstanding escalates into a large-scale war. The fourth part of this chapter covers Joab's courage and strategy. Seeing the battle on two fronts, Joab divides the army, okay? He leads the best troops against the Arameans. His brother, Abishai, takes the breast against the Ammonites. Joab says to Abishai, if the Arameans are too strong for me, you help me. And if the Ammonites are too strong for you, I'll help you. Be strong and let us fight bravely for our people and the cities of our God. The Lord will do is good in his sight. Joab's words show faith and humility. He trusts the outcome to God, not military power. The fifth part of this chapter covers God grants victory. Joab attacks the Arameans and they flee. Seeing this, the Ammonites also retreat into their city. Joab withdraws and returns to Jerusalem. The first stage of battle is over. When God's people act in faith, their enemies lose heart. The sixth part of this chapter covers Second War, David versus the Arameans. The Arameans regroup, summoning more troops from beyond the Euphrates, led by Shofak, commander of Hadadezer's army, okay? David personally leads Israel across the Jordan to meet them. Israel defeats 7,000 charioteers and 40,000 foot soldiers, killing Shofak in battle. Seeing their defeat, Hadadezer vassals make peace with David and become subject to him. The Arameans refuse to help the Ammonites again. David's victory is total, both politically and spiritually. Okay, God's favor is evident as nations submit rather than resist. Oh, the eggs are boiling. Okay, let's check the lessons now. Key lessons from 1 Chronicles chapter 19. The first lesson is God's intentions can still be misunderstood. David meant kindness, but pride and suspicion turned it into conflict, okay? Second lesson, faith and unity lead to victory. Joab and Abishai's cooperation and trust in God's will overcame overwhelming odds. Third lesson, true strength depends on God's purpose, okay? The Lord will do what is good in his sight, a model of humble confidence. Final lesson, God turns insults into influence. What began as humiliation ends with regional dominance and peace, okay? So in summary, the first Chronicles chapter 19, David's attempt at peace with Ammon turns into war after his boys are shamed. The Ammonites ally with the Arameans, but Joab's faith and strategy and David's leadership bring the decisive victory. God once again shows that his hand is with David, giving him honor among nations.